She coldly shouted. Grandpa single-handedly created Konoha, but after it was passed down to you old men, what have you all become? I have been in contact with Uzumaki Naruto for a while, and I have some respect for him. Understand, that guy is definitely not a character willing to be threatened. If you guys really want to go against him, I think you should take him. These people absolutely will lose more than half, still do not have that strength. Bring him back. If that old man Danzo did something, he can't let you two have a place. Awakened? That Naruto. He is a man of great loyalty and righteousness. Just give me enough time. I can definitely pull him back to the Konoha front line once again. Saying that, Tsunade turned away, looked behind her at the thousands of clueless ninja, and shouted in a deep voice. I know you guys belong to the two advisors directly under me, but if you dare to follow these two old men out to do mischief today, I will definitely not let you off easily. Tsunade was furious to the extreme. Currently, Konoha Village, although nominally still the strongest of the 5 great nations, has, whether it is really the strongest or not, the Leaf Village ninjas are all very clear in their hearts. During the Nine Tails chaos, the entire Uchiha clan was exterminated just a few days ago. Orochimaru designs the chaos in Sand Village and attacks Konoha Village later. Currently, Konoha's combat power has long been extremely weak in many of the 5 great nations, at most middle class. Just as Tsunade said before, after the death of the second Hokage Senju Tobirama, these past years, Konoha has been in chaos by these 4 old men. Maybe Koharu Yutane and Hamura Midokado, these 2 old guys, still want to drag those ninja troops under their control to find trouble for Naruto. They were shocked by Tsunade's domineering tone, but to save face. Moreover, in front of thousands of their own subordinates, they did not submit and admit their mistake. Koharu Yutane also frowned and asked, That's right. Jinchuriki's identity has always been a sensitive existence. How can you guarantee that before you recruit him, the other ninja villages won't pay attention to him? Tsunade suddenly turned her head and glared at the 2 of them. I have no way to guarantee that this kind of thing hasn't happened yet. But even Orochimaru died at Naruto's hands. Do you think there's anyone else who can easily subdue that brat Naruto? Flowers. Tsunade's words once again caused a stir. Orochimaru was dead. Tsunade didn't mention it casually. Although it is said that Jiraiya previously sealed Orochimaru's white-scaled snake body, Jiraiya was still unable to determine whether Orochimaru had died or not. Therefore, when Jiraiya brought Tsunade back and handed her over to the 2 Konoha advisors, he did not mention that matter. Now this news, as Tsunade herself said it, caused everyone present to be extremely shocked. How is that possible? Is Orochimaru really dead? That Orochimaru, even the 3rd Hokage, died at his hands. I never thought that Orochimaru would be killed by Uzumaki Naruto. If that's the case, Uzumaki Naruto is doing our Leaf Village a good deed. Several thousand ninjas gathered together and whispered in agreement. Some people think that Naruto's way is correct, but others think that Naruto is still a traitor and not trustworthy. In short, no one doubts the reliability of Tsunade's words. The newly appointed 5th Hokage, how can he casually joke about this kind of thing? Again, everyone knows very clearly what Uzumaki Naruto's strength is. Before that, on the red tiles on the roof, even the sage form had opened, and it was still able to make Lord Jiraiya powerless to resist. Wanna say with this strength can kill Orochimaru is completely very possible. Hamura Midokado and Koharu Yutane glanced at each other, both seeing shock and helplessness in each other's eyes. It seems that recently during this period of time, this kid Uzumaki Naruto's strength has increased quite a bit. They also just officially understood Tsunade's trip to stop this really wasn't because of feelings for her newly accepted disciple. The thing is, I just don't want to see the 2 of them carrying around such a past that helped me die. We understand, Tsunade. Just do as you say. Hamura Midokado nodded, looking at Tsunade a little apologetically. It seemed that he was too petty just now. Koharu Yutane then took practical actions to prove his determination. She waved her hand and shouted loudly towards the group of Umbu ninjas who were still whispering below the stands. Everyone, today's drama ends here. We are willing to listen to the 5th Hokage's arrangement. Everyone retreat. Continue to complete the work at hand. The Umbu and the base combine this team of several thousand people, of course will not have any opinion on such an arrangement. After all, they originally didn't want to get involved in this so-called siege of Uzumaki Naruto action. The tragic death of several thousand ninjas is still clearly before my eyes. Maybe it's like what Tsunade said before. That Uzumaki Naruto, you can only stroke his fur. If you have any evil intentions, plot against him, or move someone standing next to him, the outcome for you will likely be disastrous. Wind country. The gale blew up sand and dust from all directions, making this land covered in yellow sand look extremely harsh. Ding-ling! Ding-ling! Two black-robed figures slowly appeared from afar. Each step one of them took, the bells hanging from his body would make a loud noise. His face was ferocious. His back was hunched, except for the scorpion-like tail-like weapon that was twisting and swinging at the end. His entire body was hidden within a black robe embroidered with red clouds. That large, hunched body looked unusually heavy. Walking through the place, there was a long path of yellow sand on the ground. Another man was wearing a black robe with red clouds, long blonde hair tied in a high ponytail, and looked very young. He stepped on the back of a large white bird with both feet, but that large bird was just flying slowly in the low sky, as if to coordinate with the speed of its teammate on the mainland. Hey, Big Brother Sasori, if you continue to move at this speed, I'm afraid we won't be able to reach Sand Village tomorrow. As if he was finally getting impatient with his turtle-like speed, Deidara lowered his head to look at the person below and shouted, "What are you saying, Deidara? Are you looking for death?" The child's voice was hoarse and unpleasant. His eyes were bloodshot. He raised his head to look at Deidara above the big bird. The other end of the scorpion tail was also swinging constantly, the sharp tip flashing with cold light, as if it could launch an attack on its teammates at any time. Brother Sasori, your temper is still so bold. I may not intend to match your speed any further, so let me use my instant explosion art to capture the one-tailed Jinchuriki, Sasori-sama. You can slowly wait here and see. While speaking, Deidara manipulated the clay bird under his feet, spread its wings and flew into the air, flying straight towards the direction of the Sand Village. Deidara, you bastard. What kind of art is boring explosion? Only my method of using an excellent body to beautifully preserve it can be considered true art. Looking up at his teammates, Sasori was extremely angry. But he was not too impatient, continuing to move forward at his own slow pace. The flying clay bird was very fast, the wind blowing continuously by the shore. About 10 minutes later, Deidara had successfully entered the sky village of sand. Looking at the Sand Village ninja guards on the high-rise building, Deidara's mouth revealed a hint of disdainful smile. Cut. These guys' defenses are really weak, so I'll use that move to finish you two off. While talking, Deidara's left hand probed into the white ninja tool in its sheath. The palm of the hand opened its mouth and bit down a mass of white clay. After swallowing it, it continuously wriggled and refused. A few seconds passed. Deidara's two palms merged together. The other hand's mouth flattened a bit, spitting out several small clay balls. As Deidara threw his hands downward, those balls in the air grew long legs and skulls, turning into clay insects. The insect fell into the wall of the high-rise building, using its extremely powerful jumping ability to continuously jump up, climbing onto the bodies of the two ninja guards. Disgusting. What the hell is this? Be careful. There's something strange about this thing. Break. Break. The two sand ninja eyes revealed fear, looking at their bodies covered with white insects. Not knowing what to do, several weak explosions rang out one after another, and the two sand ninja were blown to pieces, their flesh and blood a mess. Deidara manipulated the clay bird under his feet and stopped at the edge of the high-rise building. He gently let go and jumped up, standing on the roof of the high building. Successful entry. I didn't expect it to be so smooth. Deidara's mouth corners revealed a smile. Sand Village's type of defense method in the air is completely a mistake. For this kind of guy who is good at flying in the air, there would be no defense setup. Next, Deidara only needs to successfully find the one-tailed Jinchuriki and subdue it to successfully complete the capture mission. But without waiting for Deidara to act, he suddenly saw a corner. A red-haired young man with his arms crossed in front of his chest, his face calm as he watched his every move. The teenager had a love mark on his forehead and carried a huge gourd on his back. Cut. This guy. Deidara frowned. He clasped his hands in front of his chest and formed a seal. The remaining 10 or so insects with powerful long legs wriggled and jumped up, heading straight for the young man who was holding the gourd. The gourd boy's expression remained calm, without any intention of defending or resisting. But when those fleas reached more than 2 meters in front of the teenager, a large patch of sand appeared, completely covering those clay fleas inside.
Boom boom tilde tilde boom boom tilde tilde tilde.
The dull sound of explosions echoed continuously in the sand. Green smoke emerged from the sand and soil, but did not cause much destruction. Is this guy the one-tailed Jinchuriki? Deidara was startled and said to himself, using sand ability, carrying a gourd on his back, completely matches the information collected by their Akatsuki organization. It seems that this red-haired boy is the one-tailed Jinchuriki, without a doubt. When did you find out I was coming in? Deidara looked at Gaara and asked loudly. At the same time, his 2 hands were not idle either. He probed into the ring tool bag at his waist and used his hand to bite down the clay in his mouth and swallow it. Gaara slowly walked out from the door, not too anxious. When you came to our sand village in the sky, that big white bird might not be from our feather clan. Just as he finished speaking, Gaara's palms suddenly stretched out, and under his feet, 2 large clumps of sand and earth rapidly condensed, grabbing towards where Deidara was.
Cut.
This kind of ability is really convenient to use. Deidara snorted softly, quickly jumped back, dodging several times the sand and dirt-grabbing arms. At the same time, he clapped his hands together, and his mouth also made a smacking sound, and he spat out 2 small bird wings. As Deidara threw it with both hands, the little bird was thrown towards Gaara's direction. As Deidara quickly formed hand seals, the 2 small 2-winged birds in the air exploded into a cloud of mist, transforming into 2 large birds about 2 meters long. With an unbelievable speed, he headed towards Gaara's ship. Screech! Deidara shouted softly. The 2 twin-winged birds in the sky exploded into 2 balls of fire, emitting a rumbling sound. How was it? Was it successful? Deidara muttered. Black smoke billowed from the roof. When the black smoke cleared a bit, the scene behind could finally be seen clearly. Gaara in front of him, blocked by a thick layer of sand wall. As the sand slowly flowed in the middle, a large hole opened up in the center, just enough to see Gaara's safe and sound back, still maintaining a calm expression, staring at Deidara. Rustle. The sand wall rapidly dispersed, converging into a giant sand palm, slapping towards where Deidara was standing. This Jinchuriki looks a bit difficult to deal with. This place is not suitable for us to fight. Let's return to our main battlefield first. Deidara quickly turned around to avoid it. While speaking, he also took the opportunity to jump onto the clay bird that had been flapping its wings beside the building. Looking at the palm that was smashing down on the sand again, Deidara quickly controlled the clay bird to fly downstairs. A few flying techniques circling around, the big bird once again flew into the air, preparing to engage Gaara in a tug-of-war. Wave Country. In the second floor of Tazana's house, Naruto's hand was still wrapped in faint green chakra energy, and it was stuck on his left eye, performing self-healing. After a while, the 2 fingers stuck into the eyelids causing external injuries were completely healed by treatment. But the lower eye injury to the nerve tissue is also not the scope of Naruto's current healing ninjutsu can be related to. With Naruto's current level of medical skills, he can at most only treat some external injuries. Naruto-kun, come out for dinner. The sound of knocking on the door rang out, followed by Hinata's scream. Okay, I'll be right down. Naruto nodded in agreement, turning his head to look out the window. The sun had slowly fallen from the mountain top, and the left eye that I was hiding in the research room with had already passed an afternoon without me realizing it. After using a bandage to wrap his left eye, Naruto went straight downstairs. At the dining table, Sasuke, Zabuza, Haku, and Tazana, the grandfather and grandson, were all sitting at the table. Hinata in the kitchen to help Tsunami, carrying 2 dishes to the table. When they saw Naruto's left eye covered in bandages, they were all a bit surprised. Hinata hurriedly put down the food on the table, ran over, and asked worriedly, Naruto-kun, how is your eye? Why is it wrapped in a bandage?
This.
I changed my eyes. Naruto struggled for a moment, but still decided to tell the details of this matter. Anyway, wait until his left eye's vision recovers, then Naruto must remove the bandage. Experiment with this Mangekyo Sharingan ability, and slowly adapt. On the contrary, if you want to explain clearly, it's better to just say it all now. Hinata's eyes revealed doubt. Change eyes? Why change eyes? Naruto pulled Hinata to sit down at the dining table, glanced around at everyone and then slowly explained, I have changed back to Shursui Uchiha Mangekyo Sharingan, which is the one that was dug up from Danzo's body. What? As soon as those words were uttered, several ninjas here simultaneously let out a cry of surprise. Only Tizana's family of 3 still had the same confused look, looking at Naruto in confusion. They are not ninja, and do not know what Mangekyo Sharingan is. Even Zabuza, Haku, and Hinata, the 3 of them, only knew about the existence of a Sharingan, and didn't know what was different about the Mangekyo Sharingan. You eat first, we'll talk while we eat. Naruto picked up the bowl and chopsticks. Signaling everyone to start eating first, then he slowly explained, it's like this. It wasn't until Naruto clearly explained the difference between Sharingan and Mangekyo Sharingan that the ninja group at the table suddenly understood. At the same time, they couldn't help but sigh continuously. This Naruto guy was quietly touching, once again increasing his strength. Sasuke was surprised at Naruto's understanding of the Uchiha Sharingan. But knowing Naruto, I also know that Naruto hides many secrets. Since Naruto was not willing to mention it too much, Sasuke also had no intention of opening his mouth to ask in detail. For Sasuke, increasing his strength is the most important thing to him. There were too many other things, Sasuke didn't want to pay too much attention to them. On the contrary, Sasuke was clear in his heart that Naruto would not harm him. Otherwise he would. Do not bring the Uchiha plot behind. Inform him completely. In the blink of an eye, 3 days have passed. During these 3 days, a great event happened in the ninja world. Jinchuriki of the Sand Village, captured and resurrected by a traitor from the Stone Village ninja. And, without knowing it, where to go? Sand Village had just experienced the siege of Konoha not long ago and suffered heavy casualties. Furthermore, after Konoha's complete victory, the Sand Village was forced to pay huge compensation to take back those captured prisoners. At this time, Sand Village, whether in terms of financial resources or human resources, was in extreme decline. Weak state. Therefore, the long-retired Chio grandmother and Ebizo siblings once again stood up from behind and took charge of the Sand Village. The first thing the 2 old men did was to prepare to send out Temari and Kankuro, who were familiar with Konoha, to travel all night towards Konoha, hoping to gain help from the allied countries. Although it is said that after the Sand Village's defeat at Konoha, they were given a huge compensation. But at the same time, Sand Village also signed an alliance treaty with Konoha Village. Next. Hurry. Shizen. Land of Fire, Konoha, Hokage building office inside. Tsunade sat in front of her desk, holding a red seal in her hand, which was on the table. Part of document signature seal. Shizun was on the side helping to deliver the documents, placing them in front of Tsunade, letting her. Tsunade's handling of business could be even more convenient.
Dong.
Lord Tsunade. The Sand Ninja have come to pay their respects and have arrived at the office of the Great Hall.
Below.
The office door was knocked loudly. A male voice rang out from outside the door. Tsunade raised her aching neck, slightly frowning. Sand Village?
How did they come at this time?
Shizen tidied up the documents on the table and asked Tsunade, Lord Tsunade, how do you plan to handle this? Tsunade hesitated for a moment, looked towards the gate and shouted. Let them come up here. I want to abuse them. Listen to what they are here for.
Yes.
Wave Country, Tizana's second-floor house, inside the room. Naruto sat in front of the table, slowly removing the bandage from his left eye. After the open eye test, the left eye vision was found to have returned to normal. Furthermore, Sharingan has a special function. It can focus farsightedness, capturing all situations far away. Of course, this is just increased vision, not like Hyuga Byakuya, who can ignore the shielding object and perform Mu blind angle clairvoyance. Name: Uzumaki Naruto. Age: 12 years old. Mu attribute ninjutsu, Rasengan, multiple shadow clone, Hiration. Physical technique: Konoha flowing physical technique, 8 gates release. Fire element ninjutsu, flame bullet, phoenix fire. Water element ninjutsu, water clone, water formation wall, water dragon strike. Earth element ninjutsu, heart decapitation, earth flowing wall, earth dragon spear. Wind element ninjutsu, strong wind palm, strong wind wave. Rasen shuriken. Lightning element ninjutsu, go, lightning release shadow clone. Wood release ninjutsu, heavenly wax technique, wooden claw. Bloodline limit. Mangekyo Sharingan, 50% compatibility. Ability, Kodo Amatsukami uses. Remaining term of use 7.5 years. Backpack system. Army food supply times 26. Explosive talisman times 21. Fuma shuriken times 8. Fog ball times 8. 28 trillion silver coins. 200 jadeite porcelain. Bale. Kinjin jewelry 10,000 bales. Naruto opened the system panel and looked at his attributes. Since the transplant of Shursui Uchiha's Mangekyo Sharingan, the current attribute bar now has a Kekkei Genkai added. But seeing the Mangekyo Sharingan behind him gain a certain amount of weight, Naruto immediately could not help frowning.
System.
What does Mangekyo Sharingan compatibility of 50% mean? Naruto asked the system in his heart.
Kung.
Mangekyo Sharingan compatibility. Representing the host's gaze towards the energy. Force using level. At the current stage below, the host relies on Hashirama's cells, allowing the body's compatibility with the Mangekyo Sharingan to reach 50%, which also means the host can use most of the Mangekyo Sharingan's abilities. If the host can increase the compatibility to 100%, the host can also be like Shursui Uchiha. Similarly, relying on a single eye to open Susanoo can compatibility increase to 100%. Host can be like normal Uchiha clansman. Let the jade hook and red eyes disappear. The eyes return to normal state. Originally Naruto just wanted to make Kodo Amatsukami use it. After all, there are so many big shots in the Akatsuki organization. And Naruto's body hides the 9 tails. By then, there will definitely be people from the Akatsuki organization looking for trouble with Naruto. But if Naruto can rely on Shursui Uchiha's eye, he can use the Kodo Amatsukami illusion technique on one of the members of the Akatsuki organization. By then, Naruto would be equivalent to holding a loyal Kaga-level subordinate. This kind of thing. Just thinking about it makes my heart bloom with joy. Really didn't expect that the system would arrange it so well. Even Susanoo could pave the way for Naruto. System. So how do I increase the compatibility of my Mangekyo Sharingan and body?
Ding.
Congratulations to the host for launching the selection mission. Please complete the selection mission below according to the requirements. You can get the corresponding reward. Option 1. Immediately go to Orochimaru's base and hideout. Find the experiment being held by Orochimaru and rescue it, and make it submit to the host. Complete the mission can get the following rewards. Kodo Amatsukami's usage time is reduced by 2.5 years. Second choice. If you want any subordinates, I, Uzumaki Naruto, can hang myself up and attack the ninja world. And continue my training in the Land of Waves. Complete the mission can get the following rewards. Iron Mountain depends on the power to increase 2.5 years. Naruto. 1111111. I choose 1 system. Naruto looked up at the virtual interface in front of him, his mind frantically stabbing at the top of the first selection button.
Ding.
Selection completed. Please host quickly go to Tianji Kingdom to complete the mission. Get rich mission rewards. Lunchtime. Tizana's living room at the dining table, several people sitting together slowly eating.
That.
I have something to tell you guys. I might have to go out soon. You guys stay here and be more careful. Naruto shook the food in his bowl while looking up at Zabuza and Sasuke and the others. A few days ago, the Leaf Village ninja appeared in the Land of Waves and began surveillance of the area. Naruto did not mention that matter to everyone, just to avoid causing unnecessary panic. Now that Naruto has decided to go out, of course he should still come and warn everyone. By then, it will be too late for regrets. The crowd's eating movements were slightly stiff, and they looked at Naruto with a bit of doubt. Zabuza asked in a low voice, Naruto, where are you planning to go? Going to Dainchi country to handle some important matters. Naruto answered honestly. This time the tycoon was even more unable to understand. Except for the Land of Fire and the Land of Waves, Naruto has never been anywhere else. So why must he suddenly go to the Land of Fields? Haku looked at Naruto and asked, Naruto, although asking this question is a bit wordy, I still want to ask you, why do you have to go there? Recently these days, Haku has somewhat neglected his ninjutsu practice and has been busy studying ninja schools teaching materials and story materials. Although it was said that the establishment of the ninja village in the Land of Waves was the idea that Naruto had come up with early in the morning and also provided funding. But Haku now has perfectly accepted his soon-to-be appointed ninja teacher identity and is making perfect preparations. Naruto glanced at his teammates on the table and said with a smile, I want to go find some trustworthy teammates to come back. Teammate? The crowd cried out in surprise. Even the three people in the Tizana family all did not quite understand Naruto's meaning. Inari looked at Naruto from inside, her face full of confusion as she asked, Big brother Naruto, aren't you a Konoha ninja? Why do you still have teammates in the land of the dead? When did you two get to know each other? Inari's words were also what the other people at the table wanted to ask. Sasuke and Hinata, two people, were classmates with Naruto since childhood. Everyone grew up together in Konoha. They may not remember when Naruto left Konoha and at the same time made some teammates in the land of heaven. Naruto glanced at everyone and saw that their faces were still filled with confusion, so he had no intention of explaining too much. Also cannot tell them, I read the original work. No Orochimaru in the base, imprison some special ability ninja. Naruto wanted to go bring them all back and put them in the Wave Country Ninja Village camp. As for the details, I can't explain them to you guys right now. After I come back, you guys will all understand. Naruto said with a smile. Hinata was still a bit worried. Naruto-kun, then let me go with you. Naruto reached out to stroke Hinata's head and shook his head. No. Hinata, you have to stay this time, because your injury has just recovered not long ago. It's not suitable to overwork yourself. Good. Hinata, although still a bit unwilling, still obediently nodded, not having any intention of refuting Naruto. Saying that, Naruto turned his head to look at Sasuke. Sasuke, you and I will come together. The two of us will go out and carry out this mission. Zabuza and the others will stay and guard the house. Sasuke was a bit stunned, probably not thinking that Naruto knew a few names and let him go along. No problem. Without thinking too much, Sasuke nodded in agreement. On the contrary, he stayed in the Wave Country, only to practice boring and dull cultivation every day. If he could go out with Naruto, he might be able to improve his mental state a little. At that time, he might even be able to help him who had been unable to break through the lightning release transformation. As he spoke, the button on Naruto's waist ninja tool case twitched, and a slug climbed out from the gap in the ninja tool case and quickly crawled onto Naruto's shoulder.
Ah!
What a big slug. Inari was the first to discover Naruto on Katsuyu's shoulder, and cried out in shock. Tsunami also had a nervous expression, hurriedly stood up and ran towards the kitchen. Naruto, you absolutely don't move. Let me go get some salt to drive away that kind of insect. No need. Nami, this is just a spirit beast clone. Naruto hurriedly explained. Katsuyu, who had been sleeping soundly in her ninja bag, suddenly crawled out, and Naruto naturally knew about it first. This was the last time before saying goodbye to Tsunade. Tsunade intentionally channeled Katsuyu's clone and left it on Naruto. The purpose of going, of course, was to be able to use the important moment to let Katsuyu pass on the message to Tsunade's two masters and disciples. Ignoring the surprised looks on the faces of the crowd, Naruto grabbed Katsuyu's head from his shoulder and placed her in his palm, asking, Little Katsuyu, why are you suddenly awake? Are you hungry? Katsuyu's touch twitched, and she opened her mouth and spoke in human language. No.
Naruto-kun.
It was Lady Tsunade who asked me to pass on a message to you. She wants you to go over there immediately. She has something very important to discuss with you. Master's looking for me? Naruto was immediately a bit confused. Since the last time Tsunade met him, this was the first time Tsunade took the initiative to look for Naruto. Could it be that after giving Tsunade the money, she wants Naruto to give her some money in return? Katsuyu. That's right. Naruto-kun, it seems like the Sand Ninja came to Tsunade-sama to report something to Tsunade-sama. Sand Village? Naruto raised his chin and was stunned, a vague premonition in his heart. Without much hesitation, Naruto said to Sasuke, Sasuke, hurry up and return to your room to prepare a little ceremony. We will immediately set off towards the Land of Fire. From the Land of Fire to the Land of Field, there are many roads nearby. Good. Sasuke agreed, put down the bowl and chopsticks in his hand, turned around and ran towards the direction of the stairs. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, Shadow Clone Technique. Naruto also followed and left the dining table, forming the Shadow Clone hand seal. Two clones appeared in a flash, standing beside Naruto. You two find a hiding place to hide, to guard against situations that could arise on this side of the Wave Nation at any time. Naruto told the two Shadow Clones. I know. The two shadow clones exclaimed in agreement, then immediately turned and left the living room. Since the experience of the last time Kimimaro led people to cause trouble in the land of waves, Naruto also started to learn to be smart. Knowing that he was going out to work, he also wanted to keep two shadow clones in the land of waves to use as secret information for Naruto, in case any danger occurs in the wave country. As long as the shadow clone is released and dispersed, the source of the information can immediately return to the main body. The main body used the Flying Thunder God technique to instantly fly back to rescue, which was completely possible. Not long after, Sasuke carried his backpack on both shoulders and went down from the second floor. Hinata, master. Goodbye, I will quickly bring Sasuke back if there is anything important. Please discuss it with me, the clone. Naruto waved his hand to Hinata and the others to say goodbye.
Naruto-kun.
Be careful on the road. Hinata's eyes were filled with unwillingness. In fact, she also wanted to go back to Konoha with Naruto to take a look. It's been a long time since she returned to the Hyuga clan. Hinata has been missing her home a bit. But she was relatively docile and understanding, knowing that Naruto was currently going to handle important matters, so she didn't linger too much.
Yes. Bye.
Naruto nodded in agreement, immediately grabbed Sasuke's arm, and activated the Flying Thunder God technique.
Wow.
The two figures flashed and disappeared from sight. Next, in the blink of an eye, Naruto and Sasuke suddenly appeared beside Tsunade's desk. What came into view was a specially made Hiraishin kunai on the desk. Tsunade was sitting on the chair, her chin resting on her hands, frowning as she wondered about something. Naruto, we're here. Hiraishin is really convenient. Seeing her long-lost disciple, Tsunade's solemn face revealed a trace of a smile. Naruto nodded and smiled. Ah, master, I heard Katsu's summons and immediately came running. Speaking, Naruto pointed to Sasuke beside him and introduced. Master. He is the Uchiha Sasuke I mentioned to you last time, my best teammate. Yes. Tsunade looked at Sasuke and observed him a few times, but didn't say anything more. Early on in Tsunade's youth, her impression of the Uchiha clan members was not very good. The guards were a bunch of arrogant and reckless people. Tsunade had seen it with her own eyes. Where's Shizen-senpai? Naruto turned his head and glanced around the office. Kankuro and Temari of the Sand Village, both with tired and worn-out looks, sat on the sofa in front of the windowsill, frowning as they looked over here, but also did not find Shizen's figure in the office. Shizune is guarding outside our room. At this time, she will not let anyone come in, Tsunade said in a deep voice. Doing so is on one hand a protection for Naruto. On the other hand, Tsunade also didn't want the people of Konoha to know that she could call Naruto back at any time. As for the two sand ninjas sitting on the sofa, Tsunade had already informed them beforehand that she wouldn't just casually say anything. Naruto nodded slightly. Master, you called me here in such a hurry. What important matter is there? Tsunade stood up from her office chair, one hand firmly holding Naruto's shoulder, pulling Naruto towards the sofa area. Go over there and say it. This news originated from the two of them. Naruto's intimate actions towards Tsunade were not unpleasant at all. On the contrary, because he hadn't seen Tsunade for a long time, a trace of intimacy was born in his heart. Yes. Nodding vigorously, he brought Sasuke to sit down on the sofa.
Naruto-kun. Sasuke-kun.
I didn't expect to meet you so soon. Temari forced out an awkward smile and greeted Naruto. Perhaps because his younger brother Gaara was captured, Kankuro's expression was also not very good. He nodded slightly towards Naruto and Sasuke and did not say anything more. Naruto revealed a trace of a smile, looked at Temari and said, That's right. I also didn't think I would meet you guys so soon. Tsunade said in a deep voice. Naruto, I called you here to tell you that someone is planning to attack Jinchuriki. The Jinchuriki of the Sand Village has been captured, and his whereabouts are unknown. What? Although he had already guessed it in his heart, hearing this answer still made Naruto a little shocked. Gaara was taken away? According to the original script, it shouldn't have developed to this stage. Thinking of this, Naruto looked at Temari and asked, Temari, is Gaara now Kazekage? Was he kidnapped by someone? Temari was a little stunned by this question. Kazekage? No, he was captured by a Stone Village ninja 3 days ago. That ninja was good at using explosive release. Naruto raised his chin, thinking about something, and nodded slightly. There is no doing above the Kazekage. captured by the Rock Village ninja, who is proficient in violent style. This ninja is definitely Deidara. Really, why is the script completely not based on the original direction, but is so much ahead of schedule? Could it be that the Akatsuki organization had already made good preparations and was now starting to want to capture the tailed beast? One question after another arose in Naruto's heart, making Naruto unclear about his current situation. Logically speaking, even Gamamaru Sage's predictions have changed. So the Akatsuki organization appeared early. It also didn't surprise people too much. Fortunately, Naruto now has the self-defense ability and will not be afraid of being captured by Akatsuki members. Kankuro, who had been silent all this time, suddenly raised his head and opened his mouth to speak. Since Gaara returned from the Hidden Leaf Village last time, his entire personality has changed greatly. He is no longer the same as before. Reckless, not considering other people's lives as important matters. Moreover, Gaara really wants to change himself, to change the way everyone in the village views him. He has been working very hard to do it. Speaking of this, Kankuro used that pleading gaze, looked at Naruto and said, "Naruto, I know that Gaara will have these changes, all originated from your influence. If possible, can you come with us to rescue Gaara this time, Naruto?" Naruto was a little surprised. Gaara's personality had changed, and it was because of him? Naruto himself didn't know such things clearly. He just used all his strength to defeat Gaara, and at the same time defeated Shikaku. How will this affect Gaara? Naruto turned his head to glance at Tsunade, his eyes filled with inquiry. Meaning, is this all your arrangement? You want me to follow those two to rescue the Jinchuriki of Sand Village? Tsunade also did not understand what happened between Naruto and Gaara. She frowned and said in a low voice, "Naruto, I asked you to come here just to tell you this. Jinchuriki has started to be followed by some restless guys. Some time ago, Jiraiya told me there is a so-called Akatsuki organization. It seems to be planning to attack the Jinchuriki villages. I didn't think that so quickly the Jinchuriki of Sand Village would be captured." Only then did Naruto understand that Tsunade wanted to use Temari and Kankuro's mouths to give Naruto a reminder. "There are powerful guys who will be on top of you. You have to be careful." "Master, thank you." Naruto was touched. Besides Hinata, Tsunade was currently the person he cared about the most. Although Naruto didn't really understand why Tsunade had such a strong affection for him, Naruto could clearly feel that this concern was extremely sincere. Is it because I am willing to resurrect Nawaki and Dankato? Or is it because Tsunade entrusted her feelings for Nawaki to me? Naruto silently muttered in his heart. Tsunade nodded gently, smiling and stroking Naruto's head. Immediately, she turned her head to look at Temari and Kankuro and calmly said, "Really? Sorry, I'm afraid to disappoint you too. Naruto is not part of our village right now. Ninja. Therefore, he also has no obligation to help out as a Sand Village ninja ally." Temari and Kankuro were a bit stunned, but very quickly, they both thought that during the attack on Konoha some time ago, Naruto had indeed participated in the attack on the third Hokage. Although the story of killing Danzo and destroying the headquarters of several thousand ninjas was kept under wraps by the Leaf Village ninja, it did not spread outside. But just by coordinating with Orochimaru to attack the third Hokage, this matter was able to make. Naruto bears the crime of being a traitor ninja. The two brothers glanced at each other, but still appeared extremely unwilling. Temari also heard the meaning behind Tsunade's words, clearly not wanting to let Naruto come to Gaara's rescue in this matter. "Naruto, if we want you to use your name to help us save Gaara Institute, do you think it can be done? As long as you agree to our group and help us rescue Gaara in the future, no matter what conditions you give the Sand Village people to agree to, we will do." Temari really understood deeply what kind of strength Naruto had. If we can successfully pull Naruto into the rescue team, then this time we will have a chance. The face of those powerful ninja who capture Gaara can also be more certain. Naruto did not immediately agree, just looked at Tsunade with a bit of shock. Temari glanced around. Going back to the original work, Naruto still has some sympathy for Gaara, this tragic character. Even though Gaara had been so arrogant and reckless towards Naruto in the Forest of Death earlier, he almost injured Hinata's life. But no matter what, Gaara still came to his senses. "System. If I go first and save Gaara, then go to Dainchi country to find. The sword was captured by Orochimaru as an experiment. Can this be done?"
Come.
Each selection level mission has a hidden completion time limit. If the host cannot complete it within the specified time, there is no way to collect it. Get this rank reward quest. What do you mean? Why didn't you mention it before? Is it because you can't play it? Naruto immediately became troubled. Rules are set by the system. If you don't accept it, come bite me. You. Awesome. Then let me ask you, how long is the time limit to complete the mission to Orochimaru's lair? How long is the time limit to establish the ninja village in the Land of Waves? Facing the shameless system, Naruto had no choice but to obediently accept his fear. Advance to Orochimaru's lair, rescue the captured experiment subject, and surrender to the host. The mission is scheduled to begin within the 15th heaven, in the country of waves. The ninja camp was established and the ninja village was established. Mission time. Determined because the mission statement begins 180 heavens inside. Only 15 chapters? That's short? Naruto was immediately upset. 15 days, used to rescue Gaara, then went to Dainchi country to complete the mission. Service, in terms of time, is completely out of date. If I remember correctly, the place where Gaara was grabbed and absorbed the One-Tails chakra was at the lipstick inside. And the location of that cave is somewhere in Ha-Chi Kingdom. The distance between Ha-Chi Kingdom and Dainchi Kingdom is even greater than the entire Hoa-Chi Kingdom, in which only it takes time to travel. Just the skull will arrive in a week or more. Not to mention still having to find Orochimaru's lair and going to multiple bases to find Suigetsu, Karen, and the others. There's absolutely no time. Fortunately, the Wave Country established the ninja faction mission, so the time limit was considered.
Rich.
Total 180 days time. Now just over a month has passed. In other words, there are still nearly 5 months left, used to cover a ninja base in terms of time to complete. All arrived on time. It seems that it is impossible to close the impressive building. At most wait for Naruto to return to Wave Chi. After the country returned, let Tizana and the others convert the wooden house, and first bring the ninja camp to pull. Wake up and say. Temari and Kankuro at this time still looked at Naruto expectantly, waiting for Naruto to answer firmly. After Naruto heard the system's reply, he could only helplessly shake his head at the two of them. I'm very sorry. You too. I still have a more important matter on my hands. Wait for me to go do it. This matter of rescuing Gaara. There will be a conflict over time. If possible, Naruto would be willing to save Gaara. Run ahead to open Kodo Amatsukami reduced 2.5 years of age, without saying. But who knows that on the other side of Orochimaru's base, there won't be any strange situations. Often. In case Suigetsu, Karen, and the others find out that Orochimaru is dead, they won't think of a way to escape. In short, this matter cannot be prolonged. The longer it drags on, the worse it will be for Naruto. Currently, the Wave Nation is really too weak, completely lacking any ability to resist foreign enemies. Naruto desperately needed to find someone strong enough to help, and Suigetsu, Karen, and the others were. He is Naruto's first target candidate. These 3 people were not completely brainwashed by Orochimaru. Their ages are similar to Naruto Sasuke. I am 1 or 2 years older than them at peak level. It is not so difficult to awaken them. On their 3-person basis, if they could bring more trustworthy guys. As for the Wave Country, it is of course something that makes people feel excited. So, it's like this. You don't need to say sorry, Naruto. Temari and Kankuro's eyes dimmed, their faces filled with helplessness. Tsunade's mouth revealed a sly smile, calmly said, Naruto. Although his strength is not bad, but no matter what, Naruto is still the 9 tails of Konoha. Jinchuriki, wanting him to go with you guys to rescue Gaara, first is a bit not too satisfactory. What? Naruto, he is the 9 tails Jinchuriki. Temari and Kankuro look shocked.
He just found out about this.
Tsunade gently stroked her chin and said in a low voice, Don't be too anxious. The other ninja groups in Konoha are all very excellent. To prove our sincerity in allying with Sand Village, I will send 3 trustworthy groups to assist you. Yes. It proves that the Sand Village Alliance's sincerity is not fake, but the huge rental commitment that Grandma Chio and Ebizo made in the book is absolutely indispensable. Tsunade is not stupid. She will not be stupid enough to attack someone who just came to help. Through Konoha Village, he mobilized talented generals under his command. Without paying the full rent, who would be willing to help you take such a big risk? Really? Then I would really like to thank you very much, 5th Hokage-sama. Temari and Kinkro nodded in thanks. Tsunade waved her hand slightly, turned her head to look towards the main door on the other side, and shouted, "Shizune, have they all arrived?" Shizune's voice rang out from outside the door. "Yes."
Tsunade?
Class 3's 4 people, Class 7's 4 people, and Class 8's 3 people have arrived downstairs, awaiting your summons. Tsunade gently stroked her chin. "Let them all in, Master. Then should Sasuke and I avoid each other for a bit?" Naruto hurriedly asked. Sasuke heard this and immediately stood up, looking like he wanted to leave immediately. It seems that Sasuke is completely towards Gaara or something, does not have too much of an impression, and this rescue mission for Gaara has even less attraction for Sasuke. Tsunade gently shook her head, stood up, and walked to the desk chair next to her and sat down.
No.
"You two stay here first. You and those guys haven't seen each other for a long time. Everyone is an old acquaintance. I will tell them not to come here and talk nonsense." Naruto, Kinkaro, Temari, and the 3 of them also quickly stood up and walked towards the other side of the desk with Sasuke. The sofa seats are limited, and there are 12 people, but there are not that many seats. So everyone still stands there and chats together. Not long after, outside the hallway, footsteps came from afar and approached. Shizune pushed open the office door, and 12 figures entered the office one after another. Class 7's 4 people, in order, were Kakashi, Sakura Haruno, Sai, and a bald guy, who looked extremely gentle. The 8th class 3 people, in order, were Kiba Inuzuka, Shino Aburame, and a guy with pure Byakuya eyes. At first glance it was obvious that he was from the Hyuga clan. The 3rd group of 4 people did not change. In order, they were Might Guy, Rock Lee, Hyuga Niji, Tenten 4 people.
Ah.
Naruto, Sasuke, how did you get here? As soon as they entered the office, the crowd saw Naruto and Sasuke. All of them showed surprised expressions, but the first one to speak strangely was Kiba Inuzuka. "Kiba, can you please not be surprised? Tsunade-sama doesn't hope that anyone other than this person in the room will know about their whereabouts." Shizune was about to close the office door, but hearing Kiba Inuzuka calling out so loudly, she couldn't help but feel the veins on her forehead pop out. She poked her head through the crack in the door and screamed at Kiba Inuzuka.
Ah.
I know. Kiba Inuzuka awkwardly scratched his head. At this moment, the crowd at the gate just now came forward, forming a group of Naruto and Sasuke, their mouths asking random questions non-stop.
Kakashi.
Naruto. Sasuke. You two are really so useless. Why did you suddenly become traitorous ninjas? Do you even consider me as your teacher? Might Guy. Hey. Why are you two traitorous ninjas here? And right in front of me, you're tearing apart the ninja Hitayate, forehead treasure. How can you rest? How can you use your youth to do something like this? Tenten. Hey. Naruto. Sasuke. What the hell happened to you two? Why did you suddenly become the one everyone in Konoha calls a traitor ninja? Rock Lee. Naruto. Long time no see. I really want to find you to compete, to see how big the gap is between you and me now. Hyuga Niji. Naruto. Where the hell did you kid take Miss Hinata? Is she doing well now? I heard her injuries still haven't recovered. Little Sakura. Sasuke-kun and Naruto. I didn't think I could see you guys again so soon. It's really great. Shino Aburame. Except for the 3 new reserve members. The remaining familiar ninjas almost each threw out 4 or 5 questions, forcefully hitting Naruto and Sasuke. For some unknown reason. Last time 9 Little Kwang clearly knew the reason why Naruto and Sasuke betrayed and escaped, but Might Guy and Kakashi were just like now, still unaware of this matter, and also unclear about it.
Bah.
Just when Naruto and Sasuke felt a headache coming on, not knowing who to answer first, a loud sound rang out, cutting off everyone's voices. The crowd looked towards the source of the sound. It turned out that Tsunade had smashed the corner of the table and was glaring at them with veins popping out of her forehead. Almost in an instant, the noisy faces of several people became slightly stiff, and cold sweat appeared on their foreheads. Retired, fearing that Lady Tsunade would immediately explode. They all tacitly moved aside and stood at attention, not daring to say anything more. A few days ago, Lady Tsunade kicked open a deep abyss in the ground. They didn't want to be beaten. Moreover, just a while ago, Might Guy brought the 7th class to the Hokage building's office to receive a mission. The first time he saw Tsunade, he immediately went out to smell her. It was really because Tsunade's career line was too turbulent, causing Might Guy to stand there dumbfounded, with a cowardly expression and a nosebleed. Tsunade continued to ask Might Guy several times, but Might Guy still had the same infatuated expression, making Tsunade extremely angry. Tsunade rushed forward and punched Might Guy through the second-floor window. Fortunately, Might Guy has long practiced physical arts and is naturally thick-skinned and fat, so he was able to survive this situation without any problems. But this matter spread within the ninja circle, causing many ninjas to laugh at Might Guy for several days. Humph. You guys seem to know your stuff. Tsunade snorted softly, shaking her hands. It was as if just now those people had been a little slower. Tsunade would have really beaten them up like that. Next. With Tsunade's help, Naruto and Sasuke's betrayal and escape were roughly explained to the people in the room who didn't know the situation. Even Naruto and Sasuke were able to quickly use Hiraishin to rush here because they received information from Katsuyu and they told him everything. And Naruto and Sasuke also got to know the 3 new members. Sai came from the grassroots, recently joined the 7th class. Another bald warm man, named Minfuko, is a member of the Yamanaka clan. It is said that he is also somewhat related to Ino. And the boy who joined the Hyuga clan, named Hyuga and Tree, was a member of the Hyuga branch family. In the 9th Little Strong graduation exam, there were 27 people who had successfully obtained the Hitayate for head treasure, ninjutsu. Except for the 9 Shao Chong graduates, the other 19 people were all pushed down and re-examined. And Minfuku, Hyuga, and the others are all Ninja Academy preparatory graduates. It's just that they're not in the same class as Naruto and the others. When Shino heard that Naruto wanted to help them go to Gaara to rescue, but because he had a mission to escape for unknown reasons, there was no way to go together. His sunglasses immediately showed a white light. His face looked at Naruto with disdain and said, "Naruto, you are still as stupid as ever. Don't you have Hiraishin that can immediately come over to help us? Since Tsunade-sama Katsuyu can report the news, as long as we have someone on our side of the team, and after Katsuyu gets on, he can inform you of our situation here at any time, right?" I go, "Why didn't I think of that?" Naruto immediately woke up and understood after hearing this. It really was like that. I want to ask Tsunade Katsuyu so that I can avoid delaying both sides. As long as the fighting time does not arise conflict, the travel time can be ignored. Naruto just continues to advance towards Dainchi country, and Kakashi and Might Guy, leading a 9-man squad, can completely continue searching. Gaara is lost. I just said, if you want to ask something, it's because your brain is too stupid. Naruto. Shino's sunglasses appeared white light. Evil-minded said. Naruto immediately fell silent. This Shino guy really doesn't care about face when he harms people. Rock Lee rushed forward, raised his hand to Naruto, and gave him a thumbs up, his teeth white. Golden light appeared. Naruto, I really didn't think that you would become a rebel ninja. In the future, we can still fight side by side. Naruto chuckled and then laughed again. I didn't think of it either. I hope we can both win this time. All missions will be smooth. Tenten blinked at Naruto. Naruto, then you need to be like last time. At the time we appear in danger, timely Naruto looked at Tenten's big eyes and immediately became a bit stunned. What's the situation? Why are Tenten's eyes a bit seductive? She doesn't seem to have that kind of personality. Good. Naruto scratched the back of his head, smiling honestly. Tsunade coughed twice and said in a deep voice, "Good. The mission and arrangements have been completed. Reasonable amount, then you guys should leave early lest until then appear unexpectedly." In fact, everyone clearly understood that Tsunade's surprise was that if they delayed too long, Gaara, this one-tailed Jinchuriki, might lose his life. But everyone did not say anything. Just silently nodded in agreement. The art of spiritualism. Tsunade bit her finger, made hand seals with both hands, and once again summoned 2 little Katsuyu.
Clone.
This 2 Katsuyu and Naruto in the other's bag is like that, only the size of a palm. Whoever of you comes to take Katsuyu, by then you should know your own situation. There.
Tsunade said.
Tenten seemed to like this slug quite a bit, quickly approaching it and taking a bite. Katsuyu took it. Lord Katsuyu, then please wait here. Another Katsuyu was also smoothly taken away by Might Guy. Might Guy was like that, stirring up Katsuyu's 2 tactile buds. That's right. I heard that these 2 things are the common features of this insect's eyes and nose. Might Guy was looking for Kakashi to confirm, but before he could finish speaking, he sent Katsuyu's dissatisfaction to his hand. Always having a gentle temperament, Katsuyu, being treated like this by tentacles, was also the person who opened his mouth to joke under the situation, also couldn't help but spit out a mouthful. Thick liquid. Stick at Might Guy on the face. Disgusting. What the hell is this? Might Guy took Katsuyu's hand and threw it away. Flustered hands and feet stirred up the sticky mass on the other side. Guy, sir. Please don't touch my body casually next time you do that. I will really spit acid on your face. Katsuyu complained in dissatisfaction, then quickly wriggled her body, following Kakashi's trouser leg, and crawled into his ninja tool case. Might Guy's face was full of tears, and he kept saying in his heart, 55555. Why did you suddenly? Lady Tsunade, the spirit beasts are all so cruel to me. Did I see it last time? The matter of Tsunade's breasts, has it really become this serious? This was so dramatic that everyone present couldn't help but laugh. A moment later, Tsunade gently knocked on the table and said, Good. Everything is clear. You all go back and prepare to pack up and leave. Master. Then, we will go first. Naruto looked towards Tsunade and said. Tsunade gently stroked her chin. Yes. Be careful on the road, no matter what happens. Remember that keeping your life is the most important thing, Naruto. I know, Master. Naruto nodded and said. Sasuke also waved goodbye to Kakashi and the others. Kakashi. Little Sakura, goodbye everyone, we will have the chance to meet again in the future. Although Sasuke's hatred towards Konoha had not yet subsided, because he had Naruto as his companion, he did not completely turn dark. Therefore, Sasuke until now still remembers how good Kakashi was to him. Kakashi really taught Sasuke a lot of things, even taught him his specialty, lightning iron. This kind of carefree behavior of imparting all ninjutsu to students is not right. Every teacher can do it. After saying goodbye to everyone, Naruto grabbed Sasuke's arm and launched Vi. Thunder God technique.
Wow.
The two people's bodies flashed and disappeared from sight. Next, in the blink of an eye, he appeared in the jungle of Fire Nation. The Fire Nation surface is 10 points vast, and within it is a dense forest. Trees, also not much different, all grow up the same shape. Naruto took out the map and compass. Confirmed the direction a bit, then. Heading towards Dain-chi Quak direction, we started walking. That's right. Naruto, you still haven't told me. Who exactly are we looking for when we go to Dain-chi country? Why do you have teammates over there? Leaping and jumping on the tree branch. Sasuke tilted his head back and looked at Naruto and asked, Visit. Naruto thought for a moment then replied, The place we want to go is Orochimaru's lair. And that Orochimaru guy likes to trick and sell children, and also capture and imprison some special ability experimental subjects. This time we go, we want to capture those people. And, at the same time, select a group of ninjas from within, bring them back to our wave country, and make them our wave country ninjas. Sasuke nodded slightly. So, it is like this. I heard you say last time, that guy called Orochimaru died in your hands. I really didn't think that you had even investigated his whereabouts clearly. Naruto said nothing, but his face had a confident and smug look. Do I still need to investigate? I really know the whole scenario is male, such a bug exists, how? Maybe this information is not clear.
Akikwok.
One end is wide river, in the middle of the ravine flows down. A white clay giant bird was flying around in the sky, standing on its back. There was a blond man. He was wearing a black robe embroidered with pink clouds, but his left hand. But for some unknown reason it was cut by something, and the cut still had a lot of blood left.
Fresh.
And on that big clay bird's tail, there was also a red-haired, sleeping teenager circling around it. The teenager had a love character on his forehead. I really didn't expect that capturing the one-tailed Jinchuriki would actually cripple my left arm. But fortunately I heard that guy has the ability to stitch up body organs. Force. Not sure if can help my difficult matter or not. Here already? Really, if it wasn't for Sasori's speed, I'm afraid I would have already arrived at my destination. Deidara was in the air, talking nonsense non-stop. When he bowed his head to look down, he saw a special mark on the cliff below. And the red sand Sasori had also reached the top of that cliff, and after jumping down, he fell slowly onto the river. Deidara did not stop at all, controlling the clay bird to fly straight down. Stopped staying at red sand, only Sasori beside. At the two people stopped on the river not far away, the bottom of the cliff. There seemed to be a giant
cave.
but that cave was blocked by a huge piece of lava from the middle and the side, blocking Kakuzu's side extremely tightly, completely unable to see the situation inside.
Boom.
As if sensing the presence of an alien, the lava emitted a loud rumble. Move towards the top. Give Deidara, two people, to give way to talk. Let's go, Sasori-sama. This time, although the mission didn't go very smoothly, we still is on time completion. Deidara smiled and controlled the clay bird to fly towards the cave beside him. Humph. Deidara, you shameless bastard, you just caught a little brat and you even turned yourself into this state. Red Sand Sasori mocked without mercy. Hey, what the hell do you mean? Is the one-tailed Jinchuriki really that hard to deal with?
No.
Do I have to explain it to you? Why did you bring this up? Deidara immediately returned. His temper was probably not small. Although he felt a little apprehensive towards Sasori, who had been fighting the red sand. But Deidara considers his art to be perfect and invincible. If he really wanted to force it, Deidara would also consider having a match with Sasori until with whom art is more powerful. Deidara, you want to die?
You dare to talk to me like that?
The child's eyes were as big as bronze bells, and blood was flowing out. Obviously the same. Was angry because of the other party's provocation. But the two people were chattering away, but still had no intention of stopping, and went straight ahead. In the cave next to it, then stopped. On the cliff wall, there is a giant godlike monster. Its body following the rock. The jelly grows inside. On that head there were 9 eyes, each one moving attentively. The body is as beautiful as a dry tree, with 10 pillar-shaped objects protruding from behind. But that pair of hands, facing outwards, appeared to be in a grasping state, tightly bound by a large iron chain. This thing is the Tentails' body that was pulled out of chakra, named Gedamazu, Outer Path Demon. Statue. Grandfather. Suddenly, a 7-colored illusion vaguely appeared. Standing there was Gedamazu Foreigner. The demonic statue, fingertip. Vaguely visible in it, this 7-colored phantom vague nose and ears, plugged with many black iron nails. The forehead that wears the Dai Ninja Hittite forehead treasure has 4 straight lines, depending on the Ninja Rain Village Hittite forehead treasure. This person's identity is currently the Akatsuki organization's chief steward, Tendo. Pain Yahiko. As if he had heard Deidara and Sasori arguing, Yahiko tilted his head. Again, said in a low voice. Sasori, Deidara, you two are still as troublesome as ever. Deidara very uncomfortably tilted his head. It's Sasori-sama who always makes me laugh. Otherwise, I wouldn't argue with him. Currently, Deidara is only 15 years old, just a hot-tempered youth. Although he joined the Akatsuki organization not long ago, he was teased by Itachi Uchiha using the Sharingan some time ago. Almost blew himself up, but he still held back a feeling of resentment in his heart. Now, the newly formed Red Sand teammate Sasori always makes fun of him. In his heart, his head was naturally very uncomfortable. Humph. Red Sand Sasori snorted softly. After seeing that colorful figure, he finally restrained himself and didn't say anything more. Yahiko's face didn't have much expression. He said in a deep voice, "All right, I don't want to interfere too much in your group's internal affairs. But for the sake of the unity of the organization's members, we will still try our best to avoid internal strife in the future. I will notify the others first." Saying that, Yahiko waved his hands, forming an unknown group of ninjutsu hand seals. A moment later, the Akatsuki members everywhere, their movements were all trembling, as if they sensed some kind of summoning. Mr. Not long after, colorful figures appeared one after another, standing at the fingertips of that Gedamazu, Outer Path Demon statue. Red Sand Sasori also followed and jumped up, standing on the fingertips above. Deidara then manipulated the clay bird, randomly placing the unconscious Gaara on the ground. Then jumped onto the Gedamazu, demon statue of the Outer Path, pointed ring finger. At this moment, the Gedamazu, Outer Path demon statue's pair of fingertips already stood straight. 8 colored bodies vaguely depicted. Although their appearances are vague and unclear, most people can clearly see some of their body characteristics. Gedamazu, Outer Path demon statue, with his left index finger standing there, a pair of pupils filled with blood red. Moreover, the 2 blood red eyes clearly had 3 pearls. It was the traitor who destroyed the entire Uchiha clan, Itachi Uchiha. Standing there with the middle finger of his left hand, the person with a smile on his face, full of shark-like sharp teeth, carrying a huge blade on his shoulder, was the traitor ninja of the Mist Village, Kisame Hashigaki. The person on the left hand's ring finger was pointed at. His body was half black, half white. His entire body seemed to be surrounded by a mass of aloe growing out of it. His appearance was extremely strange. It was the Akatsuki organization's elder-level member, Zetsu Absolute. The person standing on the left little finger, although more than half of her body parts were hidden inside her robe, was clearly a female student, with a small flower hidden on her head. It was the Akatsuki member who created the organization with Yahiko, Konan. What happened to this little guy? His arm turned into this shape. Kisame Hashigaki was the first to discover that Deidara's arm was broken, and couldn't help but open-mouthed to ask. Deidara had already suppressed the anger in his heart. Being asked such a question immediately made him angry again. Hey, you stinky shark, can you please stop calling me an old brat or a little brat? I might have done this to capture the Jinchuriki. Red Sandpoint Sasori used that hoarse and unpleasant voice to mock and say, I was originally involved. The Sand Village's good system of internal support could have made it easier to capture the one-tailed Jinchuriki, who said, You are so impatient. Good. Don't make that noise again. As if he was getting a little impatient. The Heavenly Path Pain Yahiko said. The sound also cold a bit. The angle is not able to help suture the organs. Ability. Okay. Wait until I finish the on-side story. Then give Deidara some time to handle it. Left arm is fine. 10 million tails. Kakuzu, who had been standing to the side without saying anything, suddenly opened his mouth. Say a word. Conan frowned and asked. Angle. What do you mean? I said, if you help him sew that arm back together, you need to pay me 10 million taels. Visit. Put your hand up 1-1. What are you saying? Hey, you're taking advantage of a fire to steal. Deidara immediately became angry, thinking that he had given up all his arms for the organization. And now he was asking someone to help him heal one arm, and he still had to spend money? Originally, Deidara was devoted to researching the explosive clay, but had no interest in money at all. Where would he have 10 million taels of savings? 10 million taels, not even a single part can be lost. Angle still had a stubborn attitude. Good. This topic ends here. The heavenly Dao Pain Yahiko appeared again, facing the scene. Object of control. If there were no one to intervene with this group of arrogant guys, I'm afraid that the moment they saw each other, they would start a riot, and it wouldn't be a strange thing. Kisame, Itachi, let you investigate the Nine Tails matter. How is it now? Asked Deva Path Pain Yahiko. Itachi still had that cold expression on his face, as if he had just been arguing with this group of people. Messed up, it has nothing to do with him. I went with Kisame on a trip. Konoha. But by that time, had already experienced Orochimaru leading his men to attack the Hidden Leaf Village, and Ninetails Jinchuriki also became a traitor ninja, and since then has not known how to use it. Accumulation. Itachi said the first half of the story, everyone heard it. After all, more than a month has passed. Even though the Leaf Village has tried its best to block the news, there is no wall that the wind cannot penetrate. Good news does not leave the house, bad news spreads 1,000 miles. Like this kind of story of Konoha falling into siege, already more than a week after the incident happened, it spread throughout the ninja continent. But the fact that the Ninetails Jinchuriki became a traitor ninja was not revealed by anyone. This news was considered extremely important to the Akatsuki organization. Conan slowly said, The Ninetails Jinchuriki betrayed and escaped? That means for us. It's also a good thing, after all, Konoha has a lot of ninja protection, so it's easy for us to catch them. Creating a lot of difficulties. No. It's not that simple. Kisame Hashigaki suppressed the smile on his face, interrupting Conan's story. Pain Yahiko asked in a low voice, How is it? Make things clear. Kisame Hashigaki gently stroked his chin. I know, Itachi and I were in Konoha scouting for information. That's what. The boy called Uzumaki Naruto Ninetails Jinchuriki seemed to have used his own strength to deal with the headquarters of the organization organized several thousand members and simultaneously killed Danzo. What? As soon as those words were uttered, the people here, who didn't know the situation clearly, all. Mu's face was full of fear. Deidara expressed his dissatisfaction and snorted softly. Boo. What's so special about killing thousands of people? Special. My art of explosion only needs one time, can kill thousands.
People.
Kisame Hashigaki gently shook his head and refuted. That's right. But based on our investigation, the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki really has mastered the Flying Thunder God technique, plus the 8 Gates release technique. Are you sure that your explosive grenades can easily injure him? Another heavy bomb, hitting all the ignorant people in the heart. Here, everyone has their own special powerful abilities. But the name of the Golden Lightning Ninja is known to everyone. Previously in the ninja world, there was such a rule: as long as you encountered the Golden Lightning, no matter what, you would be punished. Whatever the mission, giving up will not result in punishment. Although these people here all consider themselves extraordinary, they do not have that absolute confidence that they can casually injure a ninja who possesses the Flying Thunder God technique. The next time, Kisame Hashigaki investigated him and Itachi Uchiha together. Everything, all told to everyone here. Covering Orochimaru's death by the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki's command. The two of them also investigated the same, although also did not know that Naruto did. But Itachi Uchiha did not say anything, but in his mind, he was always thinking about one thing. Other. Uchiha Sasuke's younger brother followed that boy called Uzumaki Naruto and rebelled together. Escaped to Konoha. In the midst of many investigations in Konoha village, Itachi Uchiha also did not find out the reason why Sasuke followed Naruto to betray and escape. Anyway, at that time, the people who knew about the red tiles on the roof were the third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen, Orochimaru, the 5 of them hiding, and 4 Umbu Ninja. 4 Umbu Ninja were killed. Sarutobi Hiruzen died on the spot. The 5 of them, plus Orochimaru, all died in Naruto's hands. Therefore, even though Itachi Uchiha's Mangekyo Sharingan illusionary technique was extremely useful, still cannot investigate the matter thoroughly from beginning to end. But Itachi Uchiha found out that Naruto and Inosuke were depending on their classmates. After being assigned to Kakashi's subordinates, their relationship was considered not bad. In Naruto's already very strong state, Itachi Uchiha was willing to believe that his younger brother following such a traitor to escape, at least his life would not be in danger. Although Itachi Uchiha's original plan to keep Sasuke in Konoha was not to get Sasuke involved in the conflict between his clan and Konoha, so that Sasuke could have a healthy and beautiful environment to grow up. But now it has happened, as Inosuke has also betrayed and fled Konoha. Itachi Uchiha knew that there was no way to change this. As for other matters, I'll wait until I'm done with my busy schedule, then find Sasuke and make detailed plans. So that's how it is. It seems that the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, who betrayed and escaped to Konoha, has obtained the absolute against the real power. Devapath Pain nodded slightly. But he also believed that with Pain's ability, he could absolutely subdue the Nine-Tailed Jinchuriki. It was just that now was not the time for him to take the field with the 6 paths of pain. It's almost time. Start preparing to seal the One-Tailed Chakra A7. Zetsu Great. Use your clone to keep an eye on the situation outside at all times, to avoid any surprises. Devapath Pain instructed. Zetsu Great replied, Don't worry, I know. Any enemy that appears within a 10-kilometer radius will not escape my scrutiny. Heavenly Dao Pain nodded, and once again ordered the others. And you guys, next we will carry out the work. It will take at least 3 days and 3 nights. You guys better find a place to hide. I know. The rest of the crowd spoke up one by one in agreement. This is not the first time they have encountered each other in this way, and they have already made all preparations. The crowd said nothing more, and at the same time, they started to dance and form hand seals. Heavenly Dao Pain's most complicated hand seal was also the last one to be completed. The sealing technique of the illusory dragon 9 seals. As soon as Heavenly Dao Pain finished speaking, the entire mountain cave began to rumble and shake. The Gedamazu, outer path demon statue, that had been completely motionless seemed to have been suddenly given life force, slowly opening its mouth. Along the inside of that large mouth, along each end of the blue chakra dragon, straight, Gaara lay unconscious on the ground, wrapped around him, and walked away. Gaara's body was pulled into the air by those chakra dragons. As the last small chakra dragon was inserted into Gaara's mouth, Gaara let out a painful groan. In his body, red chakra energy turned into a small string being pulled. The liquid flowed out from the mouth and headed towards Gedamazu, Outer Path Demon Statue. Mouth inside bravely rushed forward. Fire Nation. Naruto and Sasuke took advantage of the Hiration Road. After arriving at Yuping Town, they continued to speed up, heading towards the next town. Afternoon at Hokage's office. Chatting for about an hour. Sasuke still didn't say anything, except for Kakashi and Sakura appearing later. He received a few sentences later, still remained silent. Naruto could also see that this kid was holding back something in his heart. Although Sasuke had hatred in his heart, continuing like this, keeping everything hidden in his heart, from beginning to end was not good for him. Sasuke, it seems like you're always in a bad mood. While trampling on the tree trunk in the middle of the road, Naruto tried to ask. Sasuke turned his head to look at Naruto and said calmly, "No, I've always been like this." Naruto continued to ask, "Is that so? I see that you have just returned to Konoha village, and your mood has not been very good. Are you thinking about the Uchiha clan again?" Hearing the Uchiha clan, Sasuke gritted his teeth and turned his head to glare at Naruto. "Naruto, what the hell do you want to say? Why did you suddenly bring this up?" Although Sasuke's attitude was really bad, Naruto was still not angry, just turned his head to look at him, and calmly said, "Sasuke, I didn't mean to bring up your sad story, but I hope you know I'm your friend. If there's anything on your mind that's bothering you, just telling me will make you feel much better." Hearing the two words friend, Sasuke was slightly stunned. Only now did he recall. Everything he knew now was told to him by Naruto. Otherwise, until now, he still lives in that beautiful lie from before. Sighing softly, Sasuke slowly said, "Actually, it's nothing. Just thinking about how those people from Konoha village treated us Uchiha clan before, I always feel uncomfortable. Naruto, you told me before, you can have hatred in your heart. But you can't only have hatred. I really remember this sentence. When I saw those classmates and teammates before, I really didn't have any hatred towards them. That newly appointed 5th Hokage, I can see, her gaze towards me is not very intimate. Obviously, she doesn't like me very much. But I don't hate her." Speaking of this, Sasuke suddenly clenched his fist, jumped forward to a large tree, and raised his fist to smash loudly on a dry tree. Crackle. The tree trunk cracked in response. Sasuke's fist was also scratched. A lot of fresh blood flowed down. But Sasuke suddenly didn't pay attention to the pain coming from his hand, gritted his teeth, and said, "But Naruto, you said it too." The 3rd Hokage also personally admitted that the plan to destroy the Uchiha, the other 2 high-ranking officials of Konoha village also participated. "You now also intend to return to a good relationship with Konoha, and at the same time become a teacher and student with the 5th Hokage. If in the future I have to take revenge on those 2 Konoha high-ranking officials, you might become my obstacle, or even my enemy, right?" Naruto was a little surprised. So this is what Sasuke was worried about. It was also his own fault for not thinking carefully enough, making Sasuke feel uncomfortable. Already said to deal with the high-ranking members of Konoha together, you really became the new Hokage's disciple, then what should I do next? Sasuke probably had that in mind, afraid that Naruto would forget his agreement to help him deal with the high-ranking Konoha officials. How could that be? "Sasuke, I promised you that I would help you deal with Koharu Yutane and Hamura Mitokado. Of course I won't go back on my word," Naruto said with a solemn oath. Although it can be said that Naruto and Tsunade have a teacher-student relationship, even though those 2 old men are high-ranking members of the Hidden Leaf Village. But Naruto decided to help Sasuke, so he would definitely do it. Even if it would put Tsunade in a difficult position, Naruto would think of every way to make up for it. "Thank you, Naruto." Sasuke felt touched. He could not have thought that Naruto would actually do this for his friend. But always arrogant him, but also could not say too many disgusting words too. Even that thank you sentence was a bit grimaced. If it wasn't for Naruto's good hearing, he really wouldn't have heard it clearly. Clam. Continue running forward for a while. Suddenly heard the sound of the winged clans singing from ahead. Accompanied by gusts of wind, the giant trees in this dense forest began to sway. "What happened, Naruto?" Sasuke asked with doubt in his eyes. He instantly opened his Sharingan, wanting to use his farsightedness ability to clearly see the situation ahead. But unfortunately, this place is a dense forest, and his Sharingan cannot see clearly, so this method obviously cannot be implemented. "I don't know either. Go ahead and take a look." Naruto shook his head, accelerated his steps, and ran forward at full speed. The further forward, the clearer the chirping sound became. sounding like the cry of a hawk. In the midst of the strong wind blowing leaves, one can still hear the snakes, making threatening screeching sounds. Naruto jumped up and down a few times, standing on top of a large tree. Looking down, he saw a hawk about 2 meters tall, with wingspan of about 4 meters, entangled with a large python in the middle of a clearing in the forest. The python used its own snake body to tightly wrap around the hawk's body and one wing. The hawk also used its pair of sharp claws to tightly press down on the snake's head. These two giant monsters were momentarily unable to do anything to the other, and just stood there tensely. Turns out it's two big guys in a big family. Sasuke was a bit late, chasing after Naruto and standing upright, also saw the scene below. Naruto smiled and looked at Sasuke and asked, "Sasuke, you probably don't have a spirit beast yet. How is it? Are you interested?" Sasuke looked at the two big guys below, slightly surprised. "Naruto, you mean that python? This snake's strength really doesn't look that powerful." Naruto gently shook his head. "No, I mean that hawk. Don't you see its pair of eagle claws? They have already fallen into the python's flesh. If it weren't for the giant python's advantage in terms of size, it would have been killed by this hawk long ago." Sasuke thought for a moment, his eyes also shining. A ninja that can contract a spirit beast is not just one type, it can be many types. If this hawk can really be saved, then it will be relatively easy to sign the Kichios no Kyaku soul contract with it. Moreover, the hawk has the ability to fly, which at some point can play a crucial role.
Yes.
Then we must help it. First deal with that python, Sasuke said. Without any hesitation, he jumped down and charged straight towards the two giant monsters. Sasuke's hand emitted a dazzling lightning bolt, emitting a deafening rumble of ba, and he took a step forward, flying straight towards the python.
Numb.
The giant python had an unusually sharp sense of danger, as if it had already sensed Sasuke's malice towards it. The huge snake's eyes moved, its long tongue made a screeching sound, but its neck was tightly trampled by the hawk, unable to move the slightest bit. But this giant python had already detected the unusual danger of the lightning in Sasuke's hand, promptly released its tightly gripped hawk-like snake tail, and swung its tail vigorously towards Sasuke. "Humph! This kind of temporary counterattack is useless against me." Sasuke snorted softly. The three pearls in his eyes slowly moved, already clearly seeing the python's intentions. His knees bent slightly, he let go of the body, and jumped towards the side a few times, easily avoiding the snake tail's attack. A loud bang. The snake's tail lashed the ground, immediately splashing up a large patch of dust. Immediately after, a large tree was hit by the snake's tail, which instantly broke apart and sank down with a loud bang. Sasuke avoided the attack, but his momentum did not decrease. His speed increased even more as he rushed forward, and in the blink of an eye, he reached the front of the python's body. "Chidori!" Sasuke's right hand strongly swung out and stabbed out. Even though that snake's skin was thick and fleshy, Sasuke's right hand still deeply observed that python's body. Fresh blood splattered out. The python's body trembled violently in pain, and immediately after that, the hawk's binding force also decreased quite a bit. The hawk let out a loud cry, seizing this rare opportunity, using its sharp mouth to peck fiercely at the 7-inch part of the python. Blood arrows continuously flowed out. Each time the eagle's mouth attacked the python, it would dig out a large hole. The scene was unusually bloody and violent, until the hawk took out one of the python's gallbladders from its body and swallowed it in one gulp. The python's body twisted and struggled, as if it could no longer bear the torture. And then it slowly stopped twisting. What a sharp mouth, what a giant eagle. Sasuke's mouth corners revealed a smile, standing in front of the hawk and looking up at it, only feeling extremely satisfied. Although it is said that the ninja continent, because of the great holy land's natural energy overflowing, causing many animals here to have abnormally huge body changes. And these giant-sized animals have also become commonly seen contracted spirit beasts on the ninja continent, along with giant tigers, giant leopards, giant toads, giant snakes, and giant lizards. They are all quite common types of spirit beasts. But as a flying type of spirit beast, it is very rare for ordinary people to catch one. Although it is said that humans are beasts, but no matter how you say it, they are influenced by natural energy and have already opened up their intelligence. Although most giant beasts cannot speak human language like the 3 great Holy Lands spirit beasts, but their intelligence is not inferior to that of humans.
Wow.
The hawk used its sharp eagle eyes to look at Sasuke and Naruto. As if it had realized the intentions of these two humans, it let out a loud cry, then suddenly flapped its wings, blowing Sasuke away. Immediately, it spread its wings and shook, wanting to fly into the sky. Hey, you animal really doesn't know what's good for you. Naruto naturally also realized that the hawk was thinking of running away. He cursed loudly, stepped on a tree trunk in the forest under his feet, and jumped towards the hawk with a few jumps. Collection. Naruto Void grabbed a handful of the Hiratian specially made kunai stored in the space system, and it appeared in the palm of his hand. As Naruto waved his hand while mobilizing, the kunai rushed towards the direction of the hawk.
Wow.
The hawk merely tilted its body, easily dodging the kunai shot. It didn't forget to turn its head to look at Naruto, as if it was mocking him. Even this kind of unorthodox kunai attack, you think it can hit me? But in the next blink of an eye, a trace of fear appeared in its eagle eyes. Just because it saw Naruto suddenly disappear from the spot, it immediately felt an extremely dangerous aura coming from behind its back.
Eagle.
Be good and get down. Naruto lifted his foot and kicked down forcefully. His foot contained 5 parts of the monster's strength and slammed loudly on the hawk's back.
Bang.
The hawk's backbones let out a small cracking sound, and its tall body headed straight for the bush below to fall. After crushing countless large tree branches, it fell to the ground with a loud bang, creating a large hole in the ground. Dust flew from the ground. Naruto also followed closely behind the hawk and landed, his 2 feet firmly landing on the ground, using his hand to cover his mouth and nose to avoid inhaling the dust. But Naruto also did not move too far, in case the hawk still had some strength left, wanting to take the opportunity to escape again. Retire, retire. Sasuke shook himself and jumped after him, stopping not far in front of Naruto. He looked at the hawk lying on the ground, breathing heavily, and couldn't help but sigh helplessly. Naruto, aren't you going too far? If you beat it to death, how can I let it become a spirit beast? It's nothing that much damage. A big guy like this can handle it. Naruto waved his sleeve indifferently. Giant beast body, normal ability resistance is very strong. Naruto deliberately withdrew his demonic force. Only using 5 levels, logically speaking, it shouldn't pose a life-threatening threat to this hawk. If it really couldn't withstand all those attacks, then this hawk wouldn't have become a necessary spirit beast. Early to pull out the feathers, use it for tonight's dinner. Maybe can also eat a full meal of grilled meat.
Hey, you eagle.
Are you dead? Don't play dead with us. Naruto took a few steps forward, using his hawk wings to kick. The hawk turned its head and looked at Naruto, who let out a choked cry. Its sharp eagle eyes were filled with fear. Naruto chuckled and then laughed again. How about if we don't run now? Let me and my friend sign the Kuchiyos no Kyaku spirit contract, and let us use it as a spirit beast. Are you willing or not? As soon as he heard that he wanted to become a spirit beast, the hawk immediately became indecisive. Becoming a spirit beast also means that it will be bound by certain constraints. As long as the spirit beast contract is signed, it will definitely have to obey its master's orders, which is equivalent to losing its freedom. If you encounter those unscrupulous masters, when they encounter danger, they will let the spirit beast stand behind them and die, while they themselves try their best to escape. This kind of thing happens often in the ninja world. Those who have opened their intelligence among the beasts may have known about this kind of thing long ago. Therefore, as long as they can hold freedom, no other type of spirit beast would be willing to become a human spirit beast. It's okay if you don't want to do it, Sasuke. Tonight we're going to eat eagle meat. I'll butcher this hawk in a moment. You help me start plucking the feathers. Naruto looked at the hawk with an evil smile and slowly said,
Ah?
Plucking feathers? Sasuke was a little surprised, but he quickly realized Naruto's intentions and nodded in agreement, saying, Good. I've never tasted hawk meat before. I heard that hawk meat is lean and has no firewood, and it tastes exceptionally sweet and delicious. Hawk immediately tears fell down his face. How did he encounter such 2 scoundrels? Instead of saving you 2 losers, I might as well continue to fight that python. Maybe I can even win and gain some hope of survival. Come on, prepare to attack. Tonight I will definitely eat this hawk meat, hee. Naruto's face smiled wickedly, took out a kunai, and gradually approached the hawk. The hawk's hawk eyes were filled with panic, and it hurriedly shook its head with force, but immediately used its head to start flattering him, and started to push Naruto away. Now is the right time. Naruto smiled and waved his hand at Sasuke, saying, Sasuke, quickly start signing the Kichios no Kyaku soul contract. Yes. Sasuke nodded vigorously. At this moment, he seemed to have forgotten all the unpleasant things before. And with an excited expression, he took out a scroll from his body. This Hawk's strength is not bad, not inferior to the current Sasuke at all. Being able to obtain such a summoned beast would be a great help to Sasuke. Sasuke, the coiled rope was untied and placed squarely on the ground. He bit his finger, leaving a long bloody mark on his palm. The two hands danced in the middle, forming a special Kichios no Kyaku soul contract seal, then a single palm struck the scroll above. The scroll above the specially imprinted lines began to crawl along the ground until the Hawk's entire body was wrapped around it and the Kichios no Kyaku soul contract was finally completed. Spirit beasts are not a rare beast in the entire ninja world. It's just that the original work spirit beasts that appear are mostly of the relatively powerful type. Same as normal ninja. Using spirit beast is also, of course, relatively normal. And the type of scroll Sasuke just used was also a widely circulated scroll on the market that signed the Kichios no Kyaku soul contract scroll. Before going to Fire Nation Town to buy textbooks, I also bought quite a few of these scrolls back.
Wow.
The Hawk slowly stood up from the big hole and let out a loud cry toward Sasuke. Sasuke puffed to Chikaru, immediately looked at Naruto and shook his head, saying, It's talking to me. It said you this guy is too cruel. Not only did you cut off all the ribs on its back, but you also wanted to eat its flesh. Naruto helplessly shook his head. Who told you to come here just now? Honestly, sign a contract with us. Don't you need to suffer? The Hawk turned towards Sasuke and let out two loud grunting sounds. Sasuke nodded slightly and translated to Naruto. It said it has a broken rib and needs time to rest and heal. If there's nothing else, it wants to find a place to rest and heal. Naruto quickly waved his hand, refusing the Hawk's request without any hesitation. It's hard to do. If you're injured, I can help treat you. The two of us will still have to rely on you to carry us to Dain-Chi country. Hawk tears fell down his face. What kind of master did he encounter? Broken ribs do not allow rest to heal the wound. Moreover, if it heals immediately, one must want to leave immediately. This is clearly a beast of exploitation, a heartless master, a criminal. Doesn't he know that it takes 100 days to hurt a muscle and move a bone? No, that blonde little devil doesn't seem to be the one coming to get him. Dain-Chi Quack. Underground headquarters, somewhere in a dark room in the laboratory. Yakushi Kabuto sat in front of the table, looking at the red liquid in the glass bottle on the table, frowning and falling into thought. A few days ago in the Land of Waves, news of Orochimaru's death was heard. Yakushi Kabuto immediately galloped back. When he heard Giran confirm that the news was true, his entire body immediately collapsed. Orochimaru for Yakushi Kabuto is the direction of life. Only Orochimaru is still alive. Yakushi Kabuto is talented enough to take Orochimaru's goal, consider it as his own goal, to gain the value and necessity of existence. But with Orochimaru's death, Yakushi Kabuto, like Giran, had completely lost his direction in life. Hearing that Giran did not protect Orochimaru well, Yakushi Kabuto also had the idea of wanting to deal with Giran to vent his anger. But Giran is well versed in Kekkei Genkai ninjutsu and is a very difficult existence to provoke. After thinking about it many times, Yakushi Kabuto still made a special decision. He wanted to be like Orochimaru, turning himself into a snake. Or rather, he wanted to go the way Orochimaru went, but at the same time, Orochimaru didn't finish the way. Through Orochimaru's previous shedding of his snake skin, Yakushi Kabuto refined the blood sample of Orochimaru's body parts. And on the table, the glass bottle contained a red liquid, which was the gene that nurtured Orochimaru's blood. Orochimaru-sama, although I cannot confirm whether this path is correct or not, I must possess the same powerful power as you. That Uzumaki Naruto brat, I definitely won't let him get any better. Mouth inside mumbling to himself, Yakushi Kabuto seemed to have finally made up his mind. Picked up a bunch of injection needles and stabbed into the glass bottle inside. After pulling out a syringe of red liquid, Yakushi Kabuto gritted his teeth and stabbed the needle into his arm's artery, pouring it all into his body. In just a moment, Yakushi Kabuto's arm bulged with blue veins, showing a series of irregular movements. It was as if 10,000 insects were climbing on his skin, looking extremely terrifying. Ah! Even though he gritted his teeth and persevered, Yakushi Kabuto still couldn't hold it in any longer and let out a miserable cry, eventually falling into a coma. Maybe the thing on his skin was moving, but it still continued and spread to other parts of his body. Next day, when Yakushi Kabuto opened his eyes again, he felt a sharp pain coming from his entire body. He raised his arm and looked at his left arm. Unexpectedly, a large number of white scales had grown. Is this success? Yakushi Kabuto's face showed joy. Originally, he was holding a heart that wanted to die, doing this experiment. Didn't think there was only a 50% chance of success, but it actually worked. Quickly crawled up, went to the counter, and picked up the mirror, and discovered that the left side of his face was also covered with scales. His current appearance is half snake face, widow face. Although his appearance was extremely terrifying and strange, Yakushi Kabuto's face did not show the slightest bit of fear. Instead, his face was filled with excitement. Everything is going very smoothly. As long as I pour in a little bit of Lord Orochimaru's blood sample every day, I will definitely be able to evolve to that state. But what has been said must be said again. Let's go ahead and deal with that bitch Giran first. Keeping someone like that in the base is useless. Carefully putting away the glass bottle on the table, Yakushi Kabuto found a black cloak, covered his body extremely tightly, then pushed the door open and went out. Good job, good job. The sound of footsteps in the underground corridor continuously echoed. Turning 7 or 8 times in the middle, Yakushi Kabuto walked to a specially designed wooden door outside. The corner of his mouth curved into a sinister smile. Yakushi Kabuto slowly pushed open the wooden door and walked into the room. Inside the room, the space was not very spacious. There was a bed for one person to sleep on. The white bed sheet was neatly arranged. A silver-haired boy raised his head to look at the entrance of Yakushi Kabuto. His eyes did not have any fear. Instead, carried a hint of anticipation and kept muttering, "Where will I return to? Will you be the place I return to? Yukimaru. Lord Orochimaru is dead. I will now take you to find your place to return." Yakushi Kabuto slowly raised his head, the corner of his mouth still carrying that sinister smile. He slowly said, "Really? Do you really know where I am going back to?" Yukimaru for Orochimaru, whether or not to die, also seems not too concerned, just keeps recurring the problem. Really? After I inject you with this medicine, I will immediately take you to find her. Yakushi Kabuto nodded in agreement, took out a needle tube from his body, and slowly walked to Yukimaru's side. Grabbing Yukimaru's arm, he poured the green medicinal liquid inside the needle into his body. "It hurts." Yukimaru let out a cry of pain, but he didn't put up any resistance. "Since being brought here, I have been having to take injections and drugs almost every day, and I have had no resistance. Follow me." A moment later, the injection of the medicinal liquid was completed. Yakushi Kabuto pulled Yukimaru's arm and headed towards the door. The two people walked through the corridor again, turning 7 or 8 times in the middle, and arrived at a spacious hall. At the very back of the great hall, a man wearing a green robe, Giran, was kneeling on the ground, his face filled with self-reproach and astonishment. Unable to protect Orochimaru well, Giran also deeply blamed himself. Although he didn't have Yakushi Kabuto's almost crazy infatuation with Orochimaru, Giran's feelings for Orochimaru were not light. After returning to the base, Giran was in a daze almost every day, not knowing what he was thinking. Hearing footsteps approaching, Giran raised his head to look, and after discovering it was Yakushi Kabuto, he lowered his head again, falling into deep thought. "Giran, how long are you planning to continue like this?" Yakushi Kabuto asked in a low voice. A trace of impatience appeared on Giran's face, and he angrily said, "It's not your turn to ask what I want to do, Kabuto. Don't think that just because you're normally close to Lord Orochimaru, you can use this kind of tone of voice to talk to me." Yakushi Kabuto also had no vitality, but with both hands holding Yukimaru's shoulders, slowly approaching Giran's front. He let out a strange laugh and said in a deep voice, "You, this guy, have a really big temper, but now you really have to listen to my call. Otherwise this child in my hands will lose his life. Get lost." Giran's eyes were bloodshot. He suddenly raised his head and glared at Yakushi Kabuto. "What does such a person have to do with me? If you come to bother me again, I'll kill you both together." Yakushi Kabuto was not angry, just gently shook Yukimaru's shoulder and asked, "Yukimaru, tell that older sister what your mother's name is and which village you come from." Even though he was asked about his deceased mother, Yukimaru was still expressionless, his face still carrying that innocent smile. I was born in tea country, a place full of camellia flowers. My mother, she is called Meiji. She is the best mother in the world, but she is dead. But it doesn't matter. I will definitely find my way back. American intelligence. Camellia. Gyurin's pupils trembled slightly. Hearing these key words from Yukimaru's mouth, long-preserved memories flashed through her mind, her expression constantly changing, becoming increasingly uglier. That was when he was young. Orochimaru assigned Gyurin a special mission, to kill a member of a certain village in the land of tea. Gyurin was seriously injured on the way to complete the mission and fell into a coma. He was saved by the beautiful and intelligent Yukimaru, and Gyurin was also moved by the beautiful and kind-hearted girl and decided not to kill her anymore. And just like that, returned to Orochimaru's side. Not thinking that Orochimaru would find out, Gyurin was still forced to kill the beautiful and intelligent man. But this matter also became Gyurin's painful memory, so he intentionally sealed this memory and forgot it. But now these memories were torn apart by a strong wind, and it was like a tide flooding into Gyurin's mind, causing her to instantly fall into pain. Kabuto, you said you took the child. That woman at that time. Gyurin asked with a trembling voice. Ah, that's right, it seems you've thought about this whole thing. Yakushi Kabuto let out a strange laugh, expressing his satisfaction at the smooth completion of the plan he had single-handedly arranged. These things were all promised many years ago. Although Yakushi Kabuto did not see it with his own eyes at that time, he followed Orochimaru for the longest time and also heard Orochimaru mention these things. Yukimaru quietly looked at Gyurin, as if he had some kind of feeling of intimacy towards Gyurin, his face still maintaining that innocent smile. Ah, you like red camellia? Or do you like white camellia? Camellia not only petals will wither, but also branches will wither together. Not only can oil be refined from the seeds, its stem is also a top-grade coal. Gyurin's eyes trembled slightly. Looking at Yukimaru's appearance, a bit of an image once again appeared in his mind. That was when she was slaughtering the villagers at Yukimaru's place. The fresh Kurenai blood dripped onto the white tea and consumed it, causing the camellia flowers to turn red. Maybe this little devil asked me why I like red camellia or white camellia. Could it be that in his memory, he still clearly remembers those blood-stained red camellia flowers? Thinking of this, Gyurin felt even more guilty. His eyes filled with anger as he looked at Yakushi Kabuto and asked, Kabuto, what exactly do you want to do? Do you want to use him to threaten me to do something? Seeing Yakushi Kabuto's two hands clasped tightly around Yukimaru's shoulders, Gyurin had no trouble guessing the other party's intentions. Don't say such harsh words. I just want you to complete an important task. Help me avenge Lord Orochimaru. Saying that, Yakushi Kabuto's glasses flashed with white light, and he said in a deep voice, Gyurin, take back those little movements in your hands. You want to use star release ninjutsu to beat me to death. Useless. Yukimaru is poisoned. Only I can dispel it. You must listen to my arrangement. Gyurin gritted his teeth and said angrily, Despicable. You actually did this kind of suppression. The dawn just broke. Gentle rays of light shone between the forest on the giant trees, causing the dew drops on the branches and leaves above to slowly slide down. Collection. Suddenly, a giant black shadow monster swooped over the forest, bringing with it a gust of wind, causing the tree branches and leaves to sway to one side. At the same time, the birds in the forest were scared away by the early morning light. Looking carefully again, through the dark shadow, there was another giant eagle, spreading its wings and circling in the low sky of the forest, as if searching for something. And on the back of the giant eagle stood two young men. One of them had blonde hair and was wearing an orange tracksuit. Another person had black hair, wearing a blue short-sleeved outfit, with a red and black half-and-half round fan symbol embroidered on the back. Naruto. We searched for a day yesterday, but still couldn't find any trace of Orochimaru's lair. Isn't this method of searching a bit wrong? Uchiha Sasuke's eyebrows slightly furrowed, a pair of pupils filled with blood red, 3 pearls appeared in his eyes. He lowered his head to look intently at the situation in the forest below. There is no better way now. Let's look first. If we really can't find it, I'll go back and bring Hinata over to deal with it. Naruto reluctantly shook his head and responded in a low voice. Just as Sasuke said, Naruto and he rode the hawk together, and in just 2 days, they reached the territory of the land Yesterday, he searched the forest aimlessly, but could not find any trace of Orochimaru's lair. Although it can be said that Dain Shikwak is only a small country, its territory area is actually not small. Moreover, most of them are this kind of unexplored forest area. Wanting to find an underground import base, then it is as difficult as ascending to heaven. Moreover, Orochimaru's working style is very experienced. The underground headquarters entrance will of course be set up very discreetly. Normal people want to find the entrance, still really have no way. If it weren't for the fact that he didn't want Hinata to fight over this muddy water from the very beginning, and let her stay in the land of waves to rest and heal her wounds, Naruto would have used the Flying Thunder God technique to fly back, and bring Hinata to use the clairvoyance hack. Suddenly, Naruto's ninja tool sleeve button twitched, and the canvas was pinned up high and lifted up. Akatsuyu slowly climbed out from the ninja tool's bag and climbed up Naruto's shoulders with his clothes.
Naruto-kun.
Kakashi's squad and Gai-sensei's squad on the other side have both encountered enemy ambushes. Katsuyu opened her mouth to remind them. Little Katsuyu, who is the enemy? Do you need my help from the past? Naruto was a bit stunned and quickly asked. On the contrary, this side has no results. If the other side has any changes and needs help, Naruto can also fly over to help without any hesitation. Katsuyu's tentacles twitched, gently twisting and wriggling his head. Mr. Kakashi over there encountered an enemy, holding the Sharingan. Just like the Konoha ninja who betrayed Itachi Uchiha. The enemy Mr. Guy encountered on the other side was a shark-like man carrying a bandaged great sword on his shoulder. As for whether or not we need help, we will wait for the other clones to ask the other person and then talk about it. After saying that, Katsuyu leaned on Naruto's shoulder, not making any movement. Ken still standing at Naruto beside Sasuke, after hearing Itachi Uchiha this name, suddenly tilted his head, his face full of complexity, looking at Naruto. Naruto, what did Katsuyu just say? Itachi Uchiha? Is that really him? Sasuke's voice carried a hint of trembling, his fists clenched, even his body followed by a faint trembling. Naruto saw Sasuke like this, and knew something bad was about to happen this time. Sasuke's hatred value is rapidly decreasing. This is because Itachi Uchiha's name is the key to open his hatred value. Naruto also thought about immediately telling Sasuke the truth about Itachi killing his clansmen. But the Uchiha clan members increased strength, mostly because of strong emotional stimulation. If Naruto really told everything like that, then Itachi Uchiha's plan would be useless against Sasuke. Regardless, let's wait until these two brothers meet to deal with this. As for that scene of brothers killing each other, Naruto would of course stop it. This kind of thing wouldn't happen. Sasuke, don't be in such a hurry. Wait a moment first. Let's see how things go. Naruto patted Sasuke's shoulder to comfort him. If the story progresses according to the original script development, so the two people who stopped Kakashi's squad and Might Guy's squad probably weren't Itachi and Kisame's original bodies. With Kakashi and Might Guy's strength, they are completely capable of dealing with it. Yes, Sasuke nodded, but his emotions still couldn't calm down.
Wow.
Suddenly, the hawk that had been looking down for movement below, the eagle's eyes flashed with a sharp light, as if it had discovered something. Let out a shrill cry. Sasuke was slightly stunned, already accepting the hawk's dialogue in his heart. Naruto, Blackfeather said that a group of suspicious people passed through the woods just now. Each one of them looked strange. Blackfeather is the name of this hawk, not something Naruto and Sasuke got, but after the hawk gained intelligence, it gave itself this name. At this time, Katsuyu, who was lying on Naruto's shoulder, twitched and opened her mouth to say to Naruto, Naruto-kun, Mr. Kakashi, and Mr. Might Guy on the other side have both said that they are not allowed to help for now, and that they can handle it themselves. Mr. Kakashi also said that you should wholeheartedly complete your own work. If they can't handle it, I will inform you to help in the past. Okay, I know. Naruto nodded. It seems that Kakashi Guy is still relatively trustworthy. He also knew that Naruto and Sasuke had their own things to do, and didn't want to cause too much trouble for the two of them. Naruto looked at Sasuke and said, Sasuke, let's handle this matter first. I promise you, you will definitely have the chance to see Itachi Uchiha in the future, and it won't be too long. Really? Okay then. Sasuke looked at Naruto with a complicated expression, but he saw Naruto's serious eyes and knew Naruto wasn't joking with him. Fortunately, he didn't say anything more, trying to suppress the anger in his heart, and nodded lightly. Blackfeather. Go back along the same path. Go find those people just now. Sasuke ordered Blackfeather.
Wow.
Blackfeather let out a long whistle, then immediately spun around in the air, changed direction, and flew straight towards its destination. Not long after, Blackfeather's pair of eagle eyes successfully captured those people. Leaping with a pair of giant wings, it headed straight towards the other side. A group of centaurs headed down.
Who?
What does that hawk want to do? Big Sister Girin. That hawk wants to launch an attack on us. Be careful. Big guy, get out of the way. The hawk made such a big commotion. At the time when it shot past the forest like an arrow, that group of people had already discovered the hawk's existence. When the hawk returned on its old path, it was about to land. When it used its pair of sharp eagle claws to grab a person, the group of people also reacted in time. They hurriedly rolled towards the side, each avoiding behind the big tree. Eyes full of vigilance staring at the unsuccessful capture, once again soaring into the air hawk. And just now, in the blink of an eye, Naruto also clearly saw the faces of these people. Leading the other person was a woman, wearing a green robe, long black hair pinned in a high ponytail, extremely beautiful appearance. This person is the one who defeated Girin many times in his previous fights with Naruto. Following behind Girin were some strange-looking guys, about 7 or 8 people. Why use strange shapes to describe it? Because there are many of them among them, although they have human characteristics, their appearance is not human at all. There was a tall, blue-skinned man. Not wearing any clothes, his whole body was covered in transparent liquid, looking very strange. There was also a guy who grew a human body, but his head and limbs were completely crocodile. Another guy was not much different from this person, except he had a human body and a buffalo head. The remaining human-like guys were either ugly and bulky, or were wearing strange gas masks. Retire. Naruto and Sasuke smoothly jumped down from the hawk's back. Stepping on the tree branches a few times, he jumped and arrived in front of the group of people. You are Uzumaki Naruto. Girin was the first to recognize Naruto. His face showed a bit of fear. He gritted his teeth. His eyes revealed hatred. She could not forget Orochimaru died in Naruto's hands. Although she recalled that part of her sealed memory, she knew that Orochimaru forced her to do bad things and was not a good person. But Orochimaru raised her for many years from beginning to end, and still had deep feelings. Naruto hugged his arms with both hands, looking at Girin. A trace of a smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. I really didn't think that I would meet you here by such a coincidence, Girin. You brought along a bunch of Gyuki serpent gods. What are you trying to do? Girin frowned, thoughts racing through his mind. Early in Orochimaru's underground headquarters, Kabuto Yakushi used Yukimura's life as a threat, wanting Girin to lead people to the Land of Waves. Looking for an opportunity to destroy Naruto's current base. To put it bluntly, it was also waiting for Naruto to come out, then completely destroying the place where Naruto was staying. If there is a chance, try your best to get the Sharingan Uchiha Sasuke and capture him back, because the real Uchiha Sasuke is the vessel Orochimaru wishes to obtain. As for the other unimportant people, just kill them all. These were Yakushi Kabuto's arrangements for Girin to do such things. The reason for the delay of 2 days was mainly because Girin was looking for a hand in Orochimaru's imprisoned experimental subjects. The strange-looking guys following Girin in front of him were the followers Girin had found. What should I do? Lead people to escape? How can I bring these people faster than Hiraition? Girin thought to himself, already having the thought of running away. Now she was even more worried about Yukimura's safety and didn't want to go against Naruto. Of course, the main reason was still that she couldn't beat Naruto. If she could win, then it would be considered a different story. Sister Girin, what's wrong? That little brat's way of talking to you seems disrespectful. Let me go deal with them. A tall, square-faced man walked up to Girin and made a suggestion to her in a low voice. Girin frowned and waved his hand, his voice cold as he said, "Fifth disciple, don't mess around. That guy is the one who killed Lord Orochimaru, Uzumaki Naruto. We are not his match."
What?
Uzumaki Naruto. That brat really has the ability to kill Lord Orochimaru. Not only did the 5 disciples hear Girin's words, even the 7 or 8 strangely shaped followers behind Girin also heard them clearly. All of them had expressions of disbelief on their faces, looking at Naruto from top to bottom carefully and continuously examining him. A moment later, Girin looked at Naruto and asked loudly, "Uzumaki Naruto, we don't want to fight with you this time. I have my own mission to do, and I don't want to fight with you. Naruto also ignored those guys' gazes, looked at Gurren and smiled faintly. I'm very sorry. I can't let you go so easily. Gurren gritted her teeth, already showing signs of wanting to get angry, but she still forcefully suppressed it and asked, What exactly do you want? We didn't offend you this time. Naruto slowly walked forward with an evil smile on his face and said, I don't want anything. As long as you tell me the purpose of your trip and immediately take me to Orochimaru's base and lair, I will be willing to let you go. Otherwise, you useless subordinates, don't even think about leaving alive. But you can only be captured by me. Use coercive means to take me to Orochimaru's lair. Gurren immediately became angry, originally intending to scold Naruto for being shameless, but felt that there was no need for this conversation. Because Gurren was keen, Naruto would not let her go easily. You little bastards. Use all your strength to kill Uzumaki Naruto and his teammates. It's Lord Orochimaru's revenge. Gurren waved his hand and ordered the people behind him. At the same time, she also danced with both hands, forming several hand seals. Hexagonal Shuriken Chaos. In just a moment, Gurren condensed a large number of hexagonal shuriken between his hands, continuously waving his hands, and swung them towards Naruto and Sasuke. Sasuke already had a good grasp of the kunai in his hand, fully prepared for battle. He didn't have any confusion. Kunai danced in front of him to cover every gap, sending the crystallized shuriken falling to the ground one by one. Naruto also had no intention of dodging. His foot suddenly stepped on the ground. That hard Kitsuchi exploded into a deep hole. Naruto's figure also suddenly disappeared from the original spot. But this might not be using Hiration to escape. It is not even opening the 8 gates of the hidden armor. Just Naruto's own taijutsu quickly appeared in afterimage, dodging the hexagonal shuriken attack range, following the attack angle towards that group of strange-shaped guys. So fast. Be careful, boss. Among them, a man wearing sweaty clothes let out a cry of surprise. Reminding his teammates at the same time, his 2 hands were also quickly forming seals. The art of spiritualism. By the time Naruto was within 5 meters of them, the man in sweat had already completed his hand seals. He squatted down and patted the ground with both palms. A large circle of black lines spread out, immediately exploding into small clusters of mist, revealing palm-sized black bats, flapping their wings, and flying towards Naruto.